Mathematical Architecture of the Adhan. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a fascinating source that claims to uncover a highly precise, hidden mathematical and linguistic design woven right into the Islamic call to prayer. So, is there an actual hidden mathematical architecture inside the daily call to prayer? Well, to figure that out, we're going to play detective today. We'll start with a really wide lens, looking at the broad structure of the Adhan, and then we'll literally zoom all the way down to a microscopic analysis of its individual letters to see how the source builds this argument step by step. Let's kick things off with the number 50. The source starts at the absolute macro level. If you take the text of the Adhan and simply count the total number of words from the very beginning, starting with Allahu Akbar, all the way to the final phrase, you get exactly 50 words. Not 49, not 51, precisely 50. Now, you're probably asking yourself, is there an underlying significance to the number 50 here? 5 daily prayers versus a 10 times reward. According to our source, there absolutely is a connection. In Islamic tradition, there are 5 obligatory daily prayers, right? And there's this foundational concept that one single good deed is rewarded 10 times over by God. So, if you take those 5 daily prayers and multiply them by that 10 times reward factor, you get 50. It perfectly mirrors the 50 words that make up the Adhan. The speaker argues this mathematical symmetry is no accident, but a meticulously planned ratio baked right into the daily routine. The root word appears twice, then as moi, then twice, and in command form once. What's really wild is how the speaker connects this mathematical theme back to the Quran itself. They point out that variations of the root word for Adhan show up exactly 5 times in the entire Quranic text. Add them up, 2 + 1, and boom, exactly 5 occurrences, once again aligning beautifully with those 5 daily prayers. Moving right along to the number 17, the math actually doesn't stop at word counts. It goes way deeper into the linguistics. The speaker highlights a super specific constraint. You know, the Arabic alphabet has 28 letters, but the Adhan? It doesn't use all of them. It exclusively uses exactly 17 of those 28 letters. The other 11 are just totally left out. So why 17? Looking at the prayer cycles, Fajr is 2, Dhuhr is 4, Asr is 4, Maghrib is 3, and Isha is 4, for a total of 17. The speaker points out a really fascinating mathematical balance here. The daily prayers are broken down into units called rakats. When you sum up all those obligatory daily prayer cycles I just listed, the total comes out to exactly 17. So those 17 specific letters used to compose the Adhan, they perfectly match the 17 obligatory daily rakats. It's this incredible alignment where the physical practice essentially mirrors the spoken word. Now let's look at the number 12. If you step back from the individual letters and look at the actual vocal performance, the distinct phrases sung out by the muadhin, another number pops up. The source notes that the call to prayer consists of exactly 12 vocal segments, from start to finish. 12 Adhan phrases versus 12 months in a year. The speaker suggests this structural choice is highly symbolic. Basically, it represents a constant, unbroken loop. The idea here is that the call is designed to echo continuously around the globe, month after month, seamlessly tying these 12 distinct phrases to the passage of time itself. The phrase, La ilaha la illallah, is exactly 12 letters. And here is where it gets really interesting. Brilliantly, the speaker draws our attention to this 12th and final phrase of the Adhan. If you count the Arabic characters in that specific concluding declaration, you guessed it, exactly 12 letters. The microstructure of the final phrase perfectly mirrors the macrostructure of the 12 total phrases. The patterns just keep repeating. So what is the most repeated word in the Adhan? As we transition further down into the micro details, the source asks a really simple yet revealing question. If you look closely at the text, what single word pops up more than any other? The first word is Allah and the last word is Allah. The source points out it's not just about how many times it's said, it's about exactly where it's placed. The Adhan begins with the word Allah in the phrase Allahu Akbar, and it famously ends with that exact same word in La ilaha illa Allah. The entire call is essentially bookended by the name of God. And that brings us to the number 11, when the source actually sits down and meticulously counts every single instance of this word throughout the entire text, a highly specific number emerges. The name Allah appears exactly 11 times throughout the call to prayer. 11 is composed of a 1 and a 1 and is only divisible by itself and 1. The speaker notes this number carries some serious symbolic weight in this context. Visually and mathematically, 11 is just the digit 1 standing next to another digit 1. Plus, it's a prime number, meaning it's only divisible by itself and the number 1. It is incredibly unusual to tie a profound theological concept, like Tawheed, the belief in a single, unique, and indivisible God, directly to the mathematical properties of a prime number. But the source views this as a direct reflection of that core belief. The three foundational letters of the name Allah are Alif, Lam, and Ha. Taking this concept a step further, the speaker examines the actual linguistic construction of the name itself in Arabic. Linguistically, the name is built from just these three distinct foundational letters. Now get this. The phrase La ilaha illa Allah is constructed entirely from Aleph, Lam, and Ha. The source considers this an absolute linguistic miracle. Think about how statistically improbable it is to form a coherent, famous 12-letter sentence without accidentally using a single letter outside of your core building blocks. It is a complete sentence, but there is not a single outside letter added. It's built 100% from the structural components of the name of God. Counting them up, we get 47 Alephs, 45 Lams, and 20 Ha's. This sets up what is probably the source's most granular and climactic calculation of the whole presentation. The speaker takes those three letters and counts every single time they appear in the entire 50-word Adhan. And these are the exact counts scattered throughout the text. Which leads us to 112. What happens when you calculate that total sum? Add up the 47 Alephs, the 45 Lams, and the 20 Ha's, and it comes out to precisely 112. Now, on its own, 112 is just a number, but the speaker insists we look a little deeper to see why this truly matters. Comparing the first mention in Surah 1 to the last mention in Surah 112. To explain why 112 is so important, the source tells us we have to look back to the Quran itself. Think about the massive scale of the Quranic text. Making a correlation across the entire book is pretty vast. The speaker traces the mentions of the name Allah throughout the holy book. The very first time the name is mentioned is in Surah 1, Al-Fatiha, and the very last time the name Allah is mentioned, that's in Surah 112, Al-Ikhlas. So, the total surahs spanning from 1 to 112 equals exactly 112. This perfectly matches the letter count of God's name hidden within the Adhan. You've got 112 chapters in the Quran, beautifully bookended by the name of God, and exactly 112 instances of the foundational letters of God's name secretly woven right into the daily call to prayer. Are these intricate patterns mere coincidence or evidence of a precise, hidden design? And that brings us to the core thesis of this explainer. The speaker concludes that this incredible alignment between the Adhan structure, daily Islamic practices, and the vast text of the Quran itself showcases a profoundly calculated balance. It's a truly fascinating look at how deeply text, linguistics, and mathematics can intertwine. So as we wrap up today, I'll leave you with the exact same provocative thought the source presents. Are all these interlocking numbers and letters just a beautiful mathematical coincidence, or is this actual evidence of a precise, hidden architecture, leaving us to wonder just how deep this design truly goes? Thanks for exploring this mystery with us.